Hi guys, this is Ashley back with another exclusive on the City Girls, and I also will be discussing Cardi B's interview. I discussed it a little bit in the last video, but I wanted to get into more detail. Before we get into the exclusive, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications. This reading is strictly for entertainment purposes only. So allegedly, the City Girls are having issues behind the scenes. In the future, I can see the City Girls splitting up. Little Uzi has been causing issues between Young Miami and JT. They're trying to put up a front that everything is okay, but behind the scenes, I'm hearing that they're having a lot of issues. Little Uzi is kind of inserting himself in certain things. He's in JT's ear, and he's causing a rift between these two girls, okay? From what I hear, Little Uzi has kind of always been messy, but because he's with JT, it brings out his messier side. He's always wanted to be a bad bee, but I think being with JT, he gets a little bit more messier because, as we all know, the City Girls are pretty messy. They've done things behind the scenes, said things about Nicki. They flip-flop with Cardi. They ride Megan Thee Stallion's coattail. So Little Uzi allegedly doesn't really like Young Miami for whatever reason. Allegedly, he doesn't really care for her, and he would rather JT go solo. The only issue is they are a package deal. They signed their contracts together. There's a lot of money on the line when it comes to them, and P, who's in charge of QC, would not be happy if they break up. Okay, contractually they cannot break up. They are in the middle of doing an album and and putting out records. Okay, and after being denied by Nicki, they are looking for other features with different mainstream artists. Okay, so they are kind of going through it. If you guys listen to my reading I did on the City Girls, I believe earlier this year or last year, I said that there was going to be a lot of different issues that they were going to have behind the scenes. So I knew it was bound to happen. Just remember, if you hear this anywhere else, you heard it first here on this page. Okay? So that's it with the City Girls. Moving on to Cardi B in this XXL interview, I briefly talked about some of the things that I disagreed with, which was one main thing where she said that she didn't really get any support from the new female rappers, which has been debunked, okay? So Cardi said in the interview that she's not as competitive, that she's in her own lane. And I found that interesting since, Cardi B's label has rushed Cardi to get all these accolades. She's the first to do this, she's the first to do that. That seems very competitive to me. If you're always the first to do something to basically try to take away from Nicki Minaj, that's competitive, okay? Now, it's not her doing it. Obviously, she has a machine. But saying that, I'm not competitive, I'm in my own lane, and I don't like when people compare me to, Nicki or Megan, then why do you continuously always allegedly reach out to Nicki? I've heard that you've reached out, your team has reached out allegedly to Nicki. So if you don't want people to talk about you and Nicki in the same sentence, why do you want to collab with her? Allegedly. Because it's going to go number one. That Nicki's name ringing bells. Also, from what I got back is the reason why Cardi and Megan are getting all these accolades and, first to go diamond, 5 number 1 records, 3 Grammys, is because when Nicki first started dissing Remy after Sheether, she would talk about accolades and how, the stats don't lie. She said in the record, how you going to be Pablo if your work ain't selling? So now they're using that against Nicki. Because now if Cardi and Megan's stats are better than Nicki's, then they'll be like, oh, well, your work ain't selling, or it's not selling better than Cardi and Megan's. That's the narrative that they're going to try to run with. Basically, trying to make it seem like, oh, you should have kept your mouth closed when you was dissing Remy Ma for her work not selling or her not having any, top 10 hits or anything like that. And because Nicki used to always post like when she was top 40, when she was top 10, being number 1 on iTunes and all that. Now they're trying to use that against her. And they're using it with bigger accolades like, the Grammys and, having a diamond record, number 1s, things that she hadn't obtained yet. Okay, so that's what I got back. Allegedly, that's their plan. So basically, Nicki should have kept her mouth shut when she was, talking about all these accolades and her, getting 100 songs on Billboard and all that stuff. Then, Cardi mentioned that, she doesn't feel like she has to help a female artist just because they are female. And she is correct about that. But she was babied when she got into the industry. She was babied. She basically was pushed. Everybody from Rihanna, Meek Mill, Drake were, behind Cardi. Drake talking about, oh, the hardest working woman in rap. And he's the least hardworking person in rap. He gets things handed to him. So, I don't understand why she feels like she can't uplift certain women. And I know who she's talking about. I personally, everybody keeps mentioning Megan, but I think she's talking about Sweetie. And a few other chicks too, because, people have been recently talking about her collaborating with Sweetie and why haven't they done a record together if they were, dating, people in the same crew. So I think people were talking about Sweetie. She's already done a record with Megan, and from what I hear, allegedly she has more records with Megan Thee Stallion since WAP went number 1. But Cardi does believe that her love and her success is organic. She does believe that. So, a lot of times people, even if we know that it's not 100% organic, she believes that it is. Because she's not in meetings where they're talking about, hey, let's sabotage Nicki Minaj. She's not in those meetings. Okay, do I believe that she knows some things and that she pretends like she's not aware of certain situations? Absolutely. I do think that she is aware of certain things and emails being sent out. But I also think that because she feels like she's not responsible for what's happening to Nicki, which that is true, she's not responsible for it. She's just basically, if you want to call it a puppet, she doesn't feel like she needs to really, stick up for Nicki Minaj. Because at the end of the day, she's not really responsible for what's happening to Nicki. Because this all goes back to the whole situation with Miley. So either way, whether Cardi is here or not, it was going to happen to Nicki, even if it wasn't Cardi, because of the whole situation that happened with, Miley and, them wanting to get rid of Nicki from the get-go. So it was inevitable in a sense. But I do think that, Cardi does play the innocent role, but really, what can she really do? Even if she speaks out and says, oh, I know the agenda, they're going to basically try to get rid of her if she talks. I do think that eventually Cardi will tell certain things like in the next 10 years, but definitely not now because she's on top, so it wouldn't make sense. But she definitely will eventually. They always do. They always talk. Eventually, all of them do. So we will just have to stay tuned. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications. This exclusive is strictly for entertainment purposes only, and I hope you have a good day.